Hey kids, welcome to Cozytoon. Once upon a time, in a deep, dense forest, there lived a little bunny named Benny. Benny was the friendliest bunny in the whole forest. He had fluffy white fur and a twitchy pink nose that wiggled when he was excited. One day, as Benny was hopping through the forest, he stumbled upon a sad squirrel named Sammy. Sammy was sitting on a rock holding his acorn collection, which had spilled onto the ground. Benny hopped over to Sammy and asked, "What's wrong, Sammy?" Sammy sniffed and replied, "I accidentally dropped all my acorns and now I can't find them. I worked so hard to gather them for winter and now they are gone." Benny's heart melted at the sight of Sammy's sadness. He immediately started helping Sammy look for his lost acorns, hopping from one tree to another and peering under bushes. After a while, with Benny's help, Sammy found all his acorns. He was overjoyed and hugged Benny tightly. "Thank you, Benny. You are the best friend ever." Benny grinned from ear to ear. "It was nothing, Sammy. Friends help each other, right?" From that day on, Benny and Sammy became inseparable friends. They went on adventures together, explored every corner of the forest, and met many other critters along the way. One day, they came across a grumpy old hedgehog named Harold. Harold was always grumbling about something and never seemed to smile. Benny and Sammy decided to cheer him up. They brought him berries, told him funny jokes, and even danced around him in circles. At first, Harold was skeptical, but slowly he couldn't help but crack a smile. "You two are quite the pair," he chuckled. "I haven't laughed like this in ages." Benny and Sammy beamed with happiness. They had turned Harold's frown upside down with their kindness. As they continued their journey through the forest, they encountered more critters in need. A lost butterfly, a stuck snail, and even a scared little mouse. Each time, Benny and Sammy showed kindness and helped the critters in any way they could. And in return, they gained new friends and filled the forest with joy and laughter. Soon, the forest became known as the friendliest place in the land, all because of Benny and Sammy's kindness. And as for Benny and Sammy, they learned that the true magic of friendship lies in helping others and spreading kindness wherever they go. And so, they lived happily ever after, surrounded by friends who loved them for being their big hearts and friendly smiles. So kids, just like how Benny the bunny and Sammy the squirrel helped their friends in the forest, being kind and helpful to others makes everyone happy and brings us closer together as friends. So always remember, being kind is like spreading sunshine wherever you go. Once upon a time, in a sunny jungle, there lived a lion named Leo. Leo was big and strong, but he had a small problem. He didn't always tell the truth. One day, Leo went for a walk in the jungle. He met a little rabbit named Robbie. Robbie asked Leo if he had seen his carrot. Leo had seen it, but he didn't want to admit it. He said, "No, I haven't seen it." Robbie felt sad and walked away. Leo felt bad too. He knew he had lied to Robbie. Leo decided to find Robbie and tell him the truth. Leo found Robbie near a bush. He said, "Robbie, I'm sorry. I did see your carrot. I didn't tell the truth earlier. I'm really sorry." Robbie looked surprised but then smiled. "Thank you, Leo, for being the honest," Robbie said happily. From that day on, Leo promised himself that he would always tell the truth no matter what. So kids, always remember, honesty is the best policy. Being honest makes you a good friend and earns the trust of others. In a cozy forest, there lived a fox named Freddy. Freddy was known for his mischievous traits and playful nature. But Freddy had to learn an important lesson about responsibility. One sunny day, while playing with his friends, Freddy stumbled upon a shiny red apple lying on the ground. Excitedly, he picked it up and admired its beauty. However, as he turned it around, he noticed a small tag attached to the stem. It read, "Property of Mrs. Squirrel." Freddy's mischievous thoughts started racing. "I could keep this apple for myself," he thought. "No one would know." But then he remembered his mother's words about responsibility. With a conflicted heart, Freddy decided to return the apple to Mrs. Squirrel. He knew it was the right thing to do, even though it meant giving up something he desired. He searched high and low until he found Mrs. Squirrel's cozy little tree house. Knocking on the door, Freddy nervously waited. When Mrs. Squirrel answered, Freddy sheepishly handed her the apple. "Oh, my dear Freddy," Mrs. Squirrel exclaimed with joy. "You have returned my apple. You are such a responsible fox." Freddy felt a warm feeling in his heart, even though he didn't get to enjoy the apple himself. He felt proud of doing the right thing. From that day on, Freddy understood the importance of responsibility. He helped his friends gather food, watched over the younger animals, and made sure everyone stayed safe. One rainy afternoon, while Freddy was out playing with his friends, a storm suddenly rolled in. The wind howled and the rain poured down heavily. Freddy's friends began to panic, not knowing where to go for shelter. Remembering his responsibility, Freddy sprang into action. He led his friends to a nearby cave where they could seek refuge from the storm. With Freddy's guidance, everyone stayed safe and dry until the storm passed. As they emerged from the cave, Freddy's friends cheered and thanked him for his quick thinking and leadership. Freddy smiled proudly. He realized that being responsible didn't just mean doing the right thing when it was easy. It meant stepping up and taking charge when others needed help. So kids, always remember, responsibility is about more than just doing what you are told. It's about taking care of yourself and others, making good choices, and being there for those who need you. When you are responsible, you make the world a better place for everyone. Once upon a time, in a cozy meadow, there lived a little bunny named Floppy. Floppy had fluffy white fur and big curious eyes. One sunny day, while hopping around, Floppy heard soft cries coming from behind a bush. Curious Floppy hopped closer and found a tiny bird with a broken wing. The bird looked scared and sad. Floppy felt a pang of sadness too. "I'll help you," said Floppy softly. With gentle paws, Floppy lifted the bird and carried it to a nearby nest. The bird chirped gratefully and Floppy felt happy to help. From that day on, Floppy and the bird became the best of friends, hopping and flying together through the meadow. So kids, always remember to show empathy and help others in need. It makes the world a warmer and happier place for everyone. In a beautiful jungle, there lived a friendly elephant named Ellie and a mischievous monkey named Milo. Ellie was loved by all the animals in the jungle for her kind heart and gentle nature. She spent her days roaming the jungle, helping those in need and spreading joy wherever she went. Milo, on the other hand, loved to play pranks on the other animals. He would swing from tree to tree, causing mischiefs and laughter wherever he went. One day, while Ellie was peacefully grazing in a clearing, Milo decided to play a trick on her. He snuck up behind her and shouted "Boo!" Startled Ellie let out a loud trumpet and ran off into the jungle, leaving Milo laughing hysterically behind her. Feeling hurt and embarrassed, Ellie decided to avoid Milo and the other animals for fear of being made fun of again. Days passed, and Ellie remained alone in her corner of the jungle, feeling sad and lonely. Meanwhile, Milo began to realize the consequences of his actions. He saw how his prank had hurt Ellie and caused her to withdraw from the jungle community. Feeling guilty, Milo knew he had to make things right. He searched the jungle until he found Ellie hiding behind a bush, tears streaming down her cheeks. "Ellie, I'm so sorry for scaring you," Milo said, his voice filled with regret. "I didn't mean to hurt you. Can you please forgive me?" Ellie looked up at Milo, her eyes filled with sadness and hurt. But as she listened to his sincere apology, she felt a spark of forgiveness ignite within her heart. After a moment of silence, Ellie nodded and said, "I forgive you, Milo. But please remember, words and actions can hurt, so be kind to others." Milo's heart swelled with gratitude as he hugged Ellie tightly. From that day on, he vowed to be more thoughtful and considerate of others' feelings. Together, Ellie and Milo returned to the jungle, hand in hand, ready to put the past behind them and embrace a future filled with forgiveness and friendship. As they walked through the jungle, they spread the message of forgiveness to all the animals they encountered, teaching them that holding on to grudges only brings sadness and loneliness. So kids, always remember, like Ellie and Milo, forgiveness is a gift we give not only to others but also to ourselves. It brings healing, peace, and friendship, making our heart light and our lives better. Once upon a time, in a cozy little village, there lived a kind-hearted girl named Lily. Lily loved to explore the nearby forest with her friends and discover new adventures. One sunny day, while playing in the forest, Lily stumbled upon a mysterious picnic basket hidden behind a bush. Curious, she opened the basket and found it filled with delicious treats, sandwiches, cookies, fruits, and refreshing lemonade. Lily's eyes sparkled with delight as she realized that the picnic basket was a magical one. No matter how much food she took out, it never seemed to empty. Excited to share her discovery with her friends, Lily rushed back to the village and gathered everyone around. "Look what I found in the forest, a magical picnic basket," Lily exclaimed, her face beaming with joy. Her friends gasped in amazement as Lily pulled out all the delicious treats from the basket. They couldn't believe their eyes. Without hesitation, Lily invited her friends to join her for a picnic under the old oak tree at the edge of the village. As they sat together, enjoying the delicious food and each other's company, Lily noticed something wonderful happening. With every bite they took and every laugh they shared, their happiness seemed to multiply. But then Lily noticed that there were some villagers who weren't able to join the picnic. They were sitting on their own, looking lonely and hungry. Hungry. Lily's heart filled with compassion as she realized that the joy of sharing was even greater than the joy of receiving. "Come, join us," Lily called out to the lonely villagers, waving them over to the picnic. "There's plenty of food for everyone." The villagers hesitated at first, but Lily's kindness and generosity warmed their hearts. They joined the picnic, and soon everyone was laughing, chatting, and enjoying the delicious treats together. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the village, Lily looked around at her friends and neighbors, all gathered together in happiness. In that moment, she understood the true magic of sharing. It wasn't just about giving away things, it was about spreading joy, building connections, and creating memories that would last a lifetime. From that day on, Lily and her friends made it a habit to share whatever they had with those around them. And as they did, they discovered that the more they shared, the more happiness they found. So kids, always remember, just like Lily and her magical picnic basket, the joy of sharing brings happiness not only to others but also to ourselves. So share your love, your kindness, and your treats, and watch the joy multiply. In a cozy little burrow, there lived a tiny mouse named Max. Max was small but mighty, with a heart full of bravery. One sunny day, while exploring the forest near his burrow, Max stumbled upon a big scary creature, a ferocious cat. The cat's sharp claws gleamed in the sunlight as it prowled closer and closer to Max. Max's heart raced with fear, but he knew he had to be brave. He took up a deep breath and stood tall, ready to face the cat. The cat's eyes narrowed as it approached Max. But instead of running away, Max surprised himself by standing his ground. He puffed out his chest and squeaked as loudly as he could, trying to scare the cat away. To Max's amazement, the cat stopped in its track, taken aback by the tiny mouse's bravery. It hesitated for a moment before turning around and slinking away into the forest. Max let out a sign of relief, feeling proud of himself for standing up to the cat. He had discovered the strength of courage within him. As Max returned to his burrow, he realized that being brave didn't mean never feeling afraid. It meant facing your fears head on, even when it seemed impossible. From that day on, Max became known as the bravest mouse in the forest. Whenever his friends needed help or faced danger, Max was always there, ready to protect them with his courage. So kids, always remember, like Max the mouse, courage is not absence of fear, but the ability to overcome it. When you believe in yourself and stand up to your fears, you will discover the strength of bravery within you. In a lush green forest, there lived a group of animals who were the best of friends, despite their differences. There was Finn the fox with his fiery red fur and clever eyes. Next to him was the Ella the elephant with her long trunk and gentle demeanor. Nearby there was Toby the turtle, slow and steady but wise beyond his years. One day, as the sun rose over the forest, the animals decided to have a big picnic to celebrate their friendship and diversity. They each brought their favorite foods to share. Finn brought juicy berries, Ella brought crunchy leaves, and Toby brought delicious mushrooms. As they sat together, enjoying their feast, they noticed some new visitors to the forest. A family of rabbits hopped out from the bushes, each one a different color: brown, white, black, and grey. The forest animals welcomed them with open arms and invited them to join the picnic. But the rabbits hesitated, feeling unsure about being accepted by animals who looked so different from them. Finn, Ella, and Toby could see the rabbits' uncertainty. So they decided to show them that being different was something to celebrate, not fear. Fellow forest friends, Finn began. We may look different on the outside, but inside, we are all the same. We all have hearts full of love and kindness. Ella added, just like how each of us brings something special to our forest family, the rabbits have their own unique qualities to share. The rabbits listened intently, their hearts warming to the words of their new friends. They realized that diversity made their forest community stronger and more vibrant. With smiles on their faces, the rabbits joined the picnic, sharing stories and laughter with the other animals. From that day on, they become an integral part of the forest family, celebrating their differences and embracing their diversity. So kids, always remember, just like the friendly forest animals, we should embrace the differences in others and celebrate the beauty of diversity. Together, we can create a world where everyone feels accepted and loved for who they are. Once upon a time, in a sunny garden, there lived a tiny seed named Sammy. Sammy dreamt of growing into a beautiful flower, but the journey was not easy. Every day, Sammy watched as other seeds sprouted into strong plants, but try as he might, Sammy couldn't seem to push through the soil. One day, Sammy felt a warm ray of sunlight tickling his tiny body. He thought, maybe if I try harder, I can grow too. With all his might, Sammy pushed and pushed against the heavy soil. It was tough and he wanted to give up, but he remembered his dream of becoming a beautiful flower. Day by day, Sammy continued to push through the soil even when it seemed impossible. He kept believing in himself and his dream. Finally, one sunny morning, Sammy felt a soft breeze whispering through the garden. He looked down and saw something amazing. A tiny green shoot peeking out of the soil. Sammy's heart danced with joy as he realized that his perseverance had paid off. He had finally started to grow. With each passing day, Sammy grew taller and stronger. He felt the warmth of the sun, the gentle touch of the wind, and the refreshing kiss of rain. Before long, Sammy blossomed into the most beautiful flower the garden had ever seen. A vibrant sunflower with petals as bright as the sun itself. All the other plants in the garden admired Sammy's beauty and strength. They asked him, "How did you grow so tall and strong, Sammy?" Sammy smiled and replied, "I never gave up. Even when things were tough, I kept pushing forward and believing in myself." From that day on, Sammy's story inspired all the plants in the garden to never give up on their dreams, no matter how difficult the journey may seem. So kids, remember, like Sammy the Seed, never give up on your dreams. With perseverance and belief in yourself, you can overcome any obstacle and bloom into something truly magnificent. And that's the end of our fun stories. Kids, remember, be good, be kind, and always help others. Let's keep these lessons in our heart and share them with everyone we meet. Bye for now. See you next time for more adventure stories and learning. Bye. Enjoyed the story? Don't forget to subscribe. See you in next video.